y'all. Welcome to Under the First Floor Lo-Fi Podcast, shitty recordings of bands you should like. My name's David Settle, and I'm trying a new tagline. Let me know if you like it. On today's episode, we have Radiator Hospital, an indie pop band from Philadelphia on Salinas Records. And on this recording, it's actually going to be a solo performance from Sam, the singer. He's playing a couple songs off his upcoming record, Music for Daydreaming, which he recorded all of the instruments for. He also played a couple old songs and a couple of really cool covers. And to start off, here's the title track from his first full-length record, Something Wild.
It's the first time I've ever done a record where I played everything and it was recorded in a studio. So like I've put out tapes, and like I was telling you that 10-inch.
Yeah.
So I have some vinyl releases that are me playing everything, but for the most part, any like LP we've ever made has been with a band. But I always like to play everything on a record because I think that's just a cool theory or a cool concept for a record, like a one-man band recording project thing. And I've always wanted to do it in a real studio with like, and make sure, you know, everything actually is recorded properly. So I did that and it was cool.
Nice. Was this something that like you've been thinking a lot about like needing to like change up the sound just for like to put out a new thing, or is it something that just kind of evolved naturally?
It's more that I feel like every time I go to make a record, I want to do something different. So like our last record was recorded super collaboratively, more than any other Radiator Hospital record we've done before, like as far as really getting the songs down and everyone having their parts ready and stuff instead of sort of rushing to record things
Mm-hmm.
and doing it, very much like this is a band making a record. And I just
Total
wanted to do
opposite.
something completely different. Yeah, I just wanted to do the opposite. Mostly for songwriting purposes, I was just like, had written all the like rock songs I felt like writing. I was
Yeah.
just like tapped out of like writing songs for this band,
Yeah.
So I was writing songs on piano and writing songs that you really doing a lot of 4-track recording. Initially, I was going to make this record mostly 4-track,
Okay.
but just felt like I wanted to really give the songs due diligence and record them better than I was, just because I don't know how to record really that well. So
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, it's not as much that I felt like I needed to do something different, like for my audience or something. It was more that it was just like,
Or even for
I never
yourself.
I never want to be doing the same thing or feel like bored with something I'm doing. I'm sure I'll do more rock band, Radiator Hospital music at some point, but.
I guess when you brought it to, who's the person that recorded it?
Jeff Ziegler?
Jeff Ziegler,
Yeah.
When you brought it to Jeff, did you have like Touchstone albums in mind for the sound of it? It has a very specific, older kind of vintage sound.
Yes.
A little bit. Like,
my concept of it while I was writing the record was either Lindsey Buckingham making Either or Elliott Smith making Tusk. Like, I was like, I either want to be one of these two people while I'm writing the songs and making this record.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of mentioned that to Jeff. I don't know if he necessarily recorded it with that in mind or what he was going for necessarily, and also talked about like Emmett Rhodes and 70s, lots of 70s records and stuff like that. And just, like he's also really into one-man band style records, and likes the idea of the sounds and vibe you can get from one person playing everything. It just has a different feel to it, so I knew that he would be able to do it really well.
Yeah, and he'd recorded your last record too.
Yeah, he recorded the last LP. I fucked it up.
have you been playing piano for a while, or like writing songs on piano for a while, or is this a new thing for you?
Not really writing songs on it, and I've played a little bit, but never really that much, and I never really had one. And I was borrowing my buddies, which is specifically because I wanted to write songs on it and record a bunch of piano style stuff. Because I kind of had messed around a little bit with the record we did with Jeff a little bit on a piano, and I just knew I wanted to do that. But I've been playing for a while, just never super seriously.
But this record, you were like actually writing the songs with piano in mind and stuff.
Yeah,
or on piano straight away. Like,
some of them specifically on piano, and other ones where I figured out piano parts to them and stuff. But I wanted to be like, I wanted to use it as a writing tool because, like I said, I was like sick of writing rock songs. So I was like, I need a new instrument than just a new instrument to shake up my brain of writing songs.
How different was that than writing like your usual guitar songs for you?
Not that different necessarily. Mostly that it's just I don't know how to play piano that well, so it would lead to weird different things, like different experiments that went certain ways. Certain songs on the record that are piano based are very much like a straightforward Radiator Hospital sounding pop song.
Yeah.
And then other ones were more like I turned into a song from some weird ass demo thing that I made that I just fucked around on piano until it sounded okay, and then I turned it into something.
In the lonely financial zone by the sea, I have walked under moon and stars. Skyscrapers stood in their dark majesty. In this otherworldly land of ours, I've walked by the buildings, I've walked by the malls, I've walked by the skyscrapers, lonely and dark in the lonely financial zone by the sea. I have walked under moon and stars. In the lonely financial zone by the sea, I often walk on cold winter nights. I stood in awe, so silently, under buzzing electric lights. Boats in the harbor, gulls on the pier, ships in trucks and sails in the bars in the lonely financial zone by the sea. I often walk under moon and stars.
I guess I don't know the lyrics of that Jonathan Richman one, but judging by the title and the lyrics of the last song you played seem to be about finances and working and like trying to figure that out with being a musician.
Yes.
Is that something you've been thinking about a lot lately?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the last song is the title track for my new record. I guess it's not really because they're not the same title, but it's like the closest there is to a title track. And I wrote it in my head at the coffee shop that we work at. And yeah, just about like being so bored out of your mind and sitting there and the thoughts that go through your head. But also it's about, I mean, that was just at my job where I had that feeling, but it's just sort of about how all the people who, especially working at a coffee shop or a restaurant, all the people who come in there also have some job that they go to. Everyone has some place that they go to for work, even if that place, and sometimes it is for me, is a venue where I'm playing music. And I don't really consider that work, obviously, because I love to do it and it's really fun. But, you know, that is sometimes my job, or at least, you know, some of the time when I'm not doing some shitty job. So, yeah, it's like just the thought of like what we do to make money, because we have to make money in this world. And how do you also reconcile that with making art or making music? I never thought of the music that I make as something that I would make money off of, and I do sometimes now. So it's like thinking about that, how that changes how I write songs and how that changes how I relate to actual work too, you know. I mean, yeah.
I don't mind when you laugh at me and call me names, but do you think of me less than your burning flame? And I don't think that I mind your cigarette lips and when I kiss you on the mouth. I don't mind, I don't mind,
Do you still book your own tours and everything? Or do you have
Yeah, I booked this tour that I got coming up. Yeah.
Is that like a conscious decision? Like, I imagine you've been approached by.
It is and it isn't. Like, I have dealt with booking agents before, either where I was opening for a band that had one, or I have had a guy book a couple of shows for me here and there. But all in all, I feel like the longer I do it, especially just at the level that I'm at, which is not that big, I still very easily can book most of my tours, especially in most of the country. I mean, you know, it's not like I am playing huge packed venues or whatever. A lot of places I can pack out a venue, but just a small size one, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like no one is going to advocate for me better than myself, and no one is going to do a better job of getting myself something than me. I feel like every time I have someone else booking something for me, I'm just not their top priority. And I can always, you know, I mean, that is the main thing about like do it yourself culture and do it yourself mindset to me, is that it's like, yeah, no one else is going to do it for you. So if you want to do it, like, you do have to do it yourself, and oftentimes it can pay off or be better for you. Because, yeah, like I said, you're advocating for yourself and you're getting yourself that thing, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, something I've always gone back. I've never had that opportunity, but like, just like thinking about that, like, I know there is like,
I'm not opposed to
with
it.
growth, I guess.
Yes, and I mean, the thing about it is, I would love to not have to fucking do it myself. I would love to have someone doing that for me, and like I said, like advocating for me. And I'm sure there are a lot of great booking agents who do that. I mean, I know there are, and I have dealt with people who are great booking agents. But like, yeah, like I said, it's just like, I'm never going to be anybody's top priority more than myself. You know?
And I know there's a lot of bands on like a similar level that are with booking agents that aren't happy because they get booked at like bars and like
right,
no
or
local
they
bands to promote or anything.
Right, or they get their booking agent asks for some crazy deal that they can't necessarily deliver on, and then the person doesn't want to book them again when they come through.
Yeah.
I would so much rather.
And you don't have the freedom of like booking weird shows if you want to.
Right, just being like, oh, cool, you'll take me at this fucking weird place, I'll do it, you know. But yeah, I mean, then like the flip side of it too is if you have a booking agent, then they have a vested interest in you touring. So for me right now, like I have this tour that I'm really excited about coming up, but nothing else booked after that. And I'm starting to think about how I need to do that for the rest of the year. I'm like, well, I have this new record coming out and I want to be touring, and no one's going to make me do that. No one's going to book that tour unless I do it. So it's like, but once again, it comes back to like, this is my life and I need to do it for myself. I need to book these shows if I want to do them. And there is something that I like about that. Yeah. As much as it would be nice to have someone doing those things for me, I like being in control of it. And yeah, it's like if I fail, it's on me. And if I succeed, it's on me. And that's sweet, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Since you do book your own shows, so you might have some weird ones. Like, what are your favorite types of shows to play on tour? Or do you have any?
I love to play at record stores. I like to play at record stores more than any other style of venue, I feel like, because record stores are about listening to music. You're obviously there to buy music, but it's like the focus is around music, whereas like a bar or a coffee shop or something, there's another element to it. And obviously if you're in a DIY space or somebody's basement, you're there for the show and it's meant to be a show, but it's a party. Yeah, it's more of a party, or it's more just like it doesn't have the same like you're just surrounded by music at a record store, you know. I don't know. Cool. Yeah. So I feel like those are usually my favorite kind of shows that end up in a space like that or something.
Everyone I've ever known has wished me well. Anyway, that's how it seems, it's hard to tell. People only ask you how you're doing, 'cause that's easier than letting on how little they could care. about dressing them in dreams and laughter. I guess it's just too painful otherwise. It's like you're standing in the window of a house nobody lives in, and I'm sitting in a car across the way. Let's just say it's in my Chevrolet. Let's just say it's a warm and windy day. You go and pack your sorrow. The trash man comes tomorrow. You hit the curb, and we'll just blow away.
What's your favorite, like, random weirdo lo-fi shit?
Interesting.
Or ones that pop out in your head as...
I like a lot of the like solo Tobin Sprout stuff. I mean, that's not really like obscure necessarily, but or that's like I feel like I mean, as far as lo-fi music goes, like Guided by Voices is going to be
here.
the Rolling Stones of lo-fi music. But well, I love Shelter from the Smoke, the Bill Fox record.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like Chris Knox. That is like a huge. Do you know Chris Knox's music much? He recorded a lot of the early Flying Nun stuff and like the Clean.
Cool. Yeah.
And he was in a band called Tall Dwarfs.
I've heard them. Yeah.
Yeah, and
They're
Tall
on Flying
Dwarfs.
Nun, right?
Yeah, they're on Flying Nun, and the Chris Knox solo stuff and the Tall Dwarfs records are like so fucking good, and like some of the best like weird 8-track home recorded stuff.
Hell yeah.
Definitely, that's like probably some of my favorite like home recorded weird shit. I recently just got a R. Stevie Moore record that I liked. Can't remember
someone
the
I've been
name.
meaning to like check out, but there's so much shit that like
Right, and that's
there.
why I never really have until I finally found an LP for pretty cheap, and I was like, cool, I'll check this out. And it was really good. But he's like,
Thanks so much to Sam for coming to the basement and playing some new tracks and some old favorites. He's got a new record coming out pretty soon. I'm not sure of the actual release date, but it's called Music for Daydreaming. You can find all of his old music at radiatorhospital.bandcamp.com, and he's on every social media thing. Just search Radiator Hospital, you'll find it. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our email address is underthefirstfloor@gmail.com. You can also talk to us on Twitter at UTFF Podcast and Instagram at underthefirstfloor. I'm going to leave you with a couple tracks for the end of the episode, the first being from the Switzerlands called 102. They're a band from Cincinnati. They have a release called Anthology 2016 through 2018 that's self-released on their Bandcamp, switzerlands.bandcamp.com. It's a really long record. It's like 20-something tracks of just a bunch of lo-fi random songs. This song is like one of the best pop songs I've heard in a long time, though, and I've been obsessed with it recently. There's a couple of members of Vacation in it. And yeah, if you like Vacation, you'd probably like the Switzerlands too. And for the last song, we have One Fell Swoop from Chris Knox. Sam had talked about them earlier. It's the singer of the band Tall Dwarves, which was a old Flying Nun band from the 80s from New Zealand. He actually also recorded a lot of the early Flying Nun records on a 4-track, so very fitting for this. And I love all those records, so it's really cool to discover this. It's from the record Songs of You and Me from 1995. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening. Bye.
shadow all around me, undefined by words you long to say. Cold and kind, your breathing will surround me. I'm inclined to let you have your way. And I am holy, I am holy, quite the same. Through my spine, electrified and aching, thoughts enshrined in words I cannot say. And I am slowly, I am slowly torn and maimed, and I don't know I could fall